This is Ali coming at you live from our studios, and we're here with our second season, fourth episode of Hit Me Out. All right, so just hit me out. We got a new segment, a new topic here for you today. It's called Pick Six. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We take a look at the games, make our picks. That's it. Before we get started with this week's picks, let's take a look at Wild Card Weekend. Let's get it started with the 49ers versus the Seahawks. I picked the Seahawks here because I thought experience would play a factor. Not quite. Brock Purdy went off. 49ers win, 41-23. Brandon got the dub there. Looking at the next game, both of us had the Bills winning comfortably. Not quite. 34-31 Bills. Next game, Brandon called the upset. Giants over the Vikings. I thought that Vikings offense would be too powerful. Not at all. 31-24. Danny Dimes went off. Bengals versus the Ravens. That game wasn't the prettiest, but we both called it right. Bengals win 24-17. On Monday night, the Cowboys obliterated Tampa Bay 31-14. We both took an L there. All right, so let's take a look at today's picks. It's only two games. We got Buffalo, Cincinnati, and then we got San Francisco, Dallas. Right on time to make this week's picks, we got Brandon calling in from My Sports Detroit. Brandon, you there? All right. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. We just wrapped up last week's summary. We noticed that you did pretty well there, guy. 4-1. Not bad.
Hey, man. It's just another day's work.
Another day's work. So we're going to go ahead and jump to, today's picks. We got a couple games. We'll come to that Buffalo game last because, just how much sentimental value it had. Yeah, let's take a look at that Dallas 49ers game, man. It got a 90s feel to it. What do you see happening there?
It does, man. But I honestly see it how it usually goes. San Francisco will come out with the win. It's in San Francisco. The weather is going to be out. This weather is going to be nice. It's supposed to be like 55 degrees, just cloudy. I really do believe that San Francisco is going to come out with the win, specifically because of not just their running game, but the way Brock Purdy is playing as a rookie, man. He's doing some historic things right now. And I don't see Dallas beating them. Like I said, my prediction was them and actually in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stick to it.
Okay. So you brought up Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. We talked a little bit about him last week. How do you see him playing against that Dallas defense with that, Micah Parsons rush coming on?
Even with the Micah Parsons rush, they might do what I thought they were going to start to do last week with Seattle, but I forgot Seattle's defense, like I said, was a sieve. So with that being said, they're going to play more of a play-action type of game, right? More, I'm going to hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, or I'm going to do some jet sweeps with Deebo Samuel, or I'm going to do some short throws to get his confidence up and to keep that pass rush at bay. Right? If you run slants or if you run hitch routes and things like that, you're able to keep the pass rush at bay, get the ball out in 2 to 3 seconds. You're not worried about Michael Parsons at that point in time. I mean, of course, you're always worried about him, but it's less of a worry when you're getting the ball out ahead of time.
And we don't know a lot about Brock Purdy, but from what I've seen, man, he got some good feet. That game last week, he was dancing around a lot in the pocket. I'm not saying that to get him away from Michael Parsons, but I definitely think it'll help big time. Yeah, man, I guess to go back to, the game that ended the season, the Bills and the Bengals, they kind of got a rematch going on. This time they got a lot more to play. They got to play for that AFC Championship game. They playing for DeMar Hamlin. They got a lot on the line. It's a lot on their sleeve. A lot of emotions running high in this game. Where do you see this one going?
I'm actually still going to go with Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to come out with a lot of firepower. I think Cincinnati's going to come out with trying to throw some haymakers as well. But I think Buffalo, with just what you mentioned, trying to play for DeMar Hamlin, and they're going to want to win that game. And I really feel like that emotional support and that piece is going to take them over the top. It's going to be a close game. It's not going to be no blowout situation. It's going to be a very close game, but I do believe that Buffalo's going to come out on top of the game. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, man, real quick, just to recap last week's games. Like I was telling you before, you finished 4-1, sitting there mighty high there. I got a nice ways to go to catch you because I'm sitting at 2-3. It's not looking too good. Not looking too good for me. But yeah, man, just real quick because we didn't get to talk about it last week. The Jaguars, we didn't get to talk about them this week either. How do you think this season went? You know, with that surprise round 1 victory against the Chargers. That mighty comeback that I turned off at halftime because I thought it was over. After Asante Samuel caught his, what was it, 3 or 4 picks? After he caught number 3, I stopped watching, man. I'm like, all right, this game is over. And I never turn games off. Yeah, I never turn games off, especially in the playoffs. But I stopped watching that one. Next thing I know, they won 31-30. And then yesterday, you know, they lost to a better team, even though Patrick Mahomes, you know, sprained his ankle. But how do you feel about the Jaguars, you know, in their surprise season?
Man, it's just what you said, man. It was a surprise season. Nobody expected the Giants to literally go from worst to first. As I mentioned, you know, before, they had the number 1 pick in the draft last year, right? This past year, and now they won a division the very next year. Went to the playoffs and won a game. That's not commonplace. And to do that with a second-year quarterback and Trevor Lawrence means they got a good future ahead of them. Right, get some more pieces around him in the receiving core, and then get some more players on defense. And you can see the Jaguars being a team to be reckoned with for a long time.
Nice and young, got some talent, got some playmakers. So you know I got to bring it home, man. You know I got to bring it home. So looking at the Lions, when we finished 3-13-1 a couple years ago, and then last year we just finished 9-8. You know, with us kind of being on the same trajectory, just as that young hot team, how do you see the Jaguars' success kind of carrying over into our season next year?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't point out the fact that we, you know, had we not have started 1-6, we would be one of those teams in the playoffs this year as well.
Facts.
You know, all we had to do was, even if we had started off 2-5 with the same trajectory, we'd be in the playoffs. So, and then on top of that, we beat that team, right? That says a lot about Detroit, is that you can look around the league and look at the teams who made the playoffs and see that Detroit beat each team, or not each team, but a few of those teams pretty handily this year, right? You know, talking about the Jaguars, that was the last loss they had before yesterday. Was when they lost to Detroit 40-14.
So we turned their season around.
Exactly.
They really need to credit us for those, you know, that playoff dub.
Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But with that being said, that all this is just motivation for Detroit to have to watch other teams be in the playoffs and know that could have been them. Know that they could have gave San Francisco a run for their money as opposed to watching Seattle give up 41 points, right? Detroit might not have done that. I don't think they would have given up 41 points, even in San Francisco, because the weather outside was nice.
Right, exactly.
So, as I said before, our floor is 12-5 with a division championship and a home playoff game. I don't see us doing nothing less than that.